Hello and welcome to this video review of the Smurfs Dreams from Microids. I am playing the PlayStation 5 version, which was provided by the publisher, and everything you see here was captured from my playthrough of the game. Now, the reason I chose to review this game was because the press release posed such a bold question. It said, could Smurfs Dreams be a better platformer than Super Mario? And of course my initial thought was, I highly doubt it. I mean, Astrobot, with all its technical wizardry, charm and willingness to plunder 30 years of PlayStation heritage, only came very close to being as good as Mario's best games. So honestly, what chance would the Smurfs have? Well, turns out it's not such a crazy claim. In a similar fashion to the Smurfs kart racer I reviewed a while ago, it's not better than Mario, but it is a really solid facsimile of it. So this is actually more impressive than that kart racer because this is even more full of lovely moments, great visuals, and challenging but accessible gameplay. It's really well made. The plot is simple. Gargamel is up to his old tricks again, this time slipping a sleeping potion into the Smurfs' dinner, causing them all to fall into an unwaking, dream-filled sleep. Gargamel then steals their dreams using a dream catcher. It's up to you to dive into the various Smurfs' dreams and help them escape their slumber. What this means in gameplay terms is a fantastical, dreamlike experience full of bouncy pillows and fluffy clouds, and it also means that the environments can be imagination-filled, resulting in an aesthetic that channels some of the platforming genre's greatest, like World of Illusion on the Sega Mega Drive with its sleepy sky scenes and confectionery-filled landscapes. Indeed, the game in general feels a lot like the Castle of Illusion 3D remake on PS3 and Xbox 360, which is no bad thing as I really rate that game. This is like that, only on a grander scale, and of course, full of Smurfs. It's fair to say then that the Smurfs Dreams borrows a lot of ideas from other platformers, which is to be expected these days since most of the ideas appear to have been had already, but it does at least cherry-pick the best ideas. And as a result, you get some disappearing platforms thanks to a magical lantern, impressive boss fights, and a really fun sense of discovery as you uncover magical trails of fruits and find hidden astral mushrooms. There's also a concealed Smurf hiding in every level for you to discover, and you reveal them with a push of the call button, which you can otherwise use to greet other Smurfs, as long as they're awake of course. The controls are simple enough. There's a run button, jump, air run with a second press of jump, and a sort of levitating shield which lets you hover inside a bubble for a limited amount of time. While hovering, you can leap out of that state, diving forwards in a move reminiscent of the Cappy Dive from Super Mario Odyssey. This lets you get across really rather wide gaps if you're skilled enough, though it's only rarely needed in the game, and it's normally richly rewarded when you use it to its maximum potential. Thankfully, there isn't too much exposition, and you don't have to talk to every Smurf in the village to fill time like most games would have you do, because they're all asleep. In fact, a lot of the annoying elements of 3D platformers have been ironed out for this game. Falling off the levels or getting hit too many times just takes you back to the nearest checkpoint, and anything you've collected remains collected, even if you didn't make it back to terra firma after getting it, which is actually really welcome. That's not to say the game is too easy. While just finishing the level is usually reasonably challenging, finding all of the hidden items will require very careful and cerebral evaluation of the level to work out where you haven't been. Some puzzles make you feel really clever, like the mirror puzzles in one of the later levels, and the platforming challenges reminiscent of Super Mario Galaxy's rotating block levels, the ones set in space, are a nice way of filling the game with shorter gameplay challenges without the designers having to design full environments for them to be incorporated into. Instead, these lavish environments are reserved for the main levels, and they look wonderful, just full of colour, incidental animations, and sprawling background vistas, which are a joy to watch as your Smurf zooms along a grind rail to the next area. There are a few sections that start to grate or outstay their welcome, particularly near the end of the first world, but these are few and far between. For the most part, this is genuinely a joy to play. Now, the length might cause some controversy because a lot of games I find are just too long for the amount of time that I've got these days, but this one is quite short, clocking in at about 5 hours to see the credits roll, then with another hour or so spent finishing up to wake up the remaining Smurfs, and then another couple of hours going back through the levels to get the missed astral mushrooms and the hidden Smurfs as well. So I was able to get the platinum trophy for collecting everything in the game by under 9 hours. So for me, that's fine because it doesn't pad the game out with unnecessary filler. Everything here is here for a reason, and I actually applaud that. And there's also, of course, the 2-player mode, which I'm sure is just going to be enjoyable to play again and again with a friend or a younger family member. It's a great game to play with the family, and I can see this lasting children in particular many, many weeks of fun. For everyone else, I suppose you could look at it as a very high quality palate cleanser before you move on to the next horror game or whatever it is that floats your boat. And so we come to the score. Now this is difficult because I can see it's a really well made game and I genuinely had a great time playing it. However, at about £45 recommended retail price, you're not getting that many hours for your money. Also, although it's got loads of ideas in it and it's crammed full of things to see and do, all of those ideas have been done before. Not necessarily better, but it didn't come up with these things on its own, so I don't think it should get mega high marks for originality. Nonetheless, this is a really good game, and I can imagine people looking back on it in 20 years' time when they played it as a kid and thinking, yeah, we had a really good time with the Smurfs Dreams. So I think I am going to give this 4.5 stars out of 5, which is probably higher than a lot of reviewers will, but I do think this is a really good game, and I'm happy to say so. Well, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit like and subscribe, and take a look around my channel for gaming videos, including my Sega Sundays weekly Let's Play of a classic Sega game. I've also got music videos of my original songs, tech reviews, and much more. I hope to see you again soon, so take care until next time. Cheers.